nothing like a Howard Hawks movie or two on the big screen. You know, whether he did, oh God, comedy, screwball comedy, drama, western, film noir, musicals, whatever, and he did everything. Howard Hawks made the kind of movies that you can't watch on an iPhone. It's just not, I don't recommend it. In fact, there should probably be a law against even attempting it, because he had this way of sort of conducting, like orchestrating like a symphony. All of the scenes in his films, they were carefully orchestrated. The background action, the foreground action, the people, the set decor, characters exchanging witty banter, all of it came together to form this style that was very effective, but very subtle as well, almost kind of invisible in a sense. So that's why you really need to see these movies supersized in order to fully appreciate Howard Hawks. When Hawks first started directing, it was in the 1920s, and the producer who hired him gave him one piece of advice. He said, "Make anything you want, but for God's sake, make it entertaining." And Hawks never forgot that. In 44 years of this incredible Hollywood career as a director and a producer, he made some of the most entertaining movies of all time. Never won an Oscar, but he made some great films. He never lost sight of the fact that the primary purpose of motion pictures is to entertain an audience. And nobody did it better, or few people did it better than Howard Hawks. And this is why he's one of my personal favorites. Out of all the essential directors I write about in the book, The Essential Directors, now available at bookstores everywhere, you know, I don't like to play favorites, but Howard Hawks is kind of my favorite. I have to admit it, because, you know, when you watch his movies, you just don't get the sense that he was striving to make art, or that he was trying really hard to make a statement. There's just an effortlessness about his movies, and kind of an ease and a flow and a sense of fun that's so contagious. They're so watchable, and they're so enjoyable even today, you know, 70, 80, 90 years after they were made. Plus, Hawks is the man who first brought together Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this legendary history of these two. When Hawks was planning to make To Have and Have Not in 1943, his wife, Nancy, nicknamed Slim, by the way, which is the character of Lauren Bacall in To Have and Have Not. They gave her Slim's nickname. But I digress. His wife, Slim, she spotted 19-year-old Betty Persky on the cover of a fashion magazine, and Hawks thought that she had the right look and the right attitude to sort of be molded into this new, modern kind of screen woman that he was trying to create specifically for Humphrey Bogart. Because Bogart was fresh off Casablanca and a hot leading man, and Hawks wanted to find a woman, a leading lady for him to match him, who was his equal in every way. A woman who was just as cool and just as tough and just as insolent and just as nonchalant as Bogart, which was a tall order, but the newly renamed Lauren Bacall fit the bill, and she delivered the goods big time. But Hawks got more than he bargained for, of course, when he brought these two together, because not only was it the birth of a great screen couple, but of course, an off-screen romance as well. And when you watch To Have and Have Not, you can actually see Bogart and Bacall falling in love with each other in real time, in real life, on camera. And it's kind of cool. And then in their follow-up movie, The Big Sleep, then they were even more in love, to the point that Bogart was divorcing his wife so that he could marry Lauren Bacall, which they did shortly after filming Wrapped. So the real life chemistry between these two amazing actors, the sparks and the sexual innuendo flying back and forth across the screen is a big part of what makes these two movies so special. And just one more thing I want to say, Ryan mentioned this briefly, Peter Bogdanovich, I was so fortunate to have him write the foreword for my book, and I got to speak with him just not too long before his untimely passing. And I just want to give props to Peter because, you know, he was a big advocate of Howard Hawks' work, and he's the one we have to thank for the fact that Hawks is considered an important director today, and he really got him on the radar and got his films noticed by the serious film academics and analysts and critics. All that being said though, I would not recommend watching The Big Sleep through the lens of serious academic analysis or criticism. Either one of the films, but particularly not The Big Sleep, and especially when it comes to the plot. You know what? You'll only end up confused. Don't even try to analyze the plot. Forget the plot. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Thank you very much.